Oh my God. Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Hope all is well. Hope y'all having a magnificent Sunday, man. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Um, just before we get started, I just want to let you know what kind of vibe I'm in before we get started. All right. I got my whiskey. Okay. I'm watching the Golden State Warriors play. That's my favorite team. All right. And I'm here with my lovely family recording this video. So at this particular juncture in life, I'm a full man. I feel really good. I feel really complete. And I'm really excited about giving you guys a powerful message today. A powerful message. You know, I want to give a big shout out to my homie Non Figgity, aka Mo, because he gave me this title for this particular podcast. Well, pardon me, he gave me the topic, which is Black men at their highest moment, right? And he's a boxing fanatic. He loves the box, okay? He loves watching boxing, pardon me. And so, baby, we on live. You good. If you gotta sneeze, you can sneeze. I don't want it to be stuffy when we record. I want it to be real. But anyways, my homie Muhammad, he's into boxing. And last night there was a great fight that happened with Shakur Stevenson, right? Like Tupac Shakur Stevenson. And after the fight, there was a big brouhaha that happened outside of MGM. And he said, Q, I think you should check this out. So I said, okay. Went to go check it out. And this was the topic that I came up with based on that, right? And here's the thing. Let me just give you a little bit of background information on Shakur Stevenson. All right, he's from New Jersey. He's one out of 9 children. Okay. And he was trained by his grandfather. And one of the things that Shakur Stevenson is big on is allowing his boxing to do the speaking for itself and having a clean image. He doesn't want to be a controversy guy. Okay. So the fact that he won, and this was one of his biggest boxing moments, and there was controversy after his fight, it almost makes me think about Eddie Griffin when Eddie Griffin said, no black man is allowed to be successful without an asterisk. Kobe Bryant, what about the rapist? Michael Jordan, don't he have a gambling problem? Bill Cosby. Any time a black man is ascending and has ascended, we always in our society have a tendency to attach something to that man to sully his image. All right. So Shakur Stevenson is saying, I don't want nothing to sully my image. I just want y'all to know me for being a great boxer. So that's some background information on Shakur Stevenson. Now, this is a build up. I'm not giving you everything at once. Okay. I'm just bringing you in. I'm starting slow. What we're infusing with that idea is the black man's loyalty to the black woman. You know, I hear so many conversations about black women divesting. I hear so many conversations about black women saying they're going to go get a white man. And I believe that at the end of the day, you should do whatever you want to do. But this is what I want to say to brothers. We have been nominated by the CDC, for what it's worth, as the best fathers. Not nominated, but when they looked at the different metrics, they said, man, Black fathers are some of the most involved best fathers. Now, you got some backbiting Black people that will sit up there and say, you know, they have a problem with what the CDC put out. But here's my issue. We cannot get mad at the negative portrayals of the Black men, and then when the CDC put out a good report about Black men, we want to turn around and say, you know what? Forget that. That doesn't have any validity. I look at it like this. If they said bad things about Black men and it had no validity, then they can say good things about Black men and it have no validity. Cancel. But I think if we're going to talk about things being invalid, I think we need a healthy balance of positive invalid images and negative invalid images, even though I would rather have more positive and negative. But you got a lot of Black women and Black feminists and, you know, girly men that say those statistics are bogus, right? And like I said, at the end of the day, Black men are like, in terms of like some of the best men, let me just say it. Kevin Samuels even talks about this. The fact that most Black men was raised in a single parent mother household, most Black men have a deep level of endearment towards women in the family. Black men absolutely love Black women. I mean, we love our Black woman so much. It's absolutely amazing how much we love our Black woman. And it's very interesting because Black men have historically and even now been defined as alpha men, for better or worse. We've been hit with allegations of having the largest penises, being the most fierce warriors. We have had the title, being able to jump the highest, being the best in athletics, being the smartest, even though a lot of y'all don't think about that. When you think about Black men, when you think about ancient Egypt, when you think about a lot of these people and how the world looks at Black men, you're talking about George Washington Carver, Benjamin Banneker. Even when we talk about alpha male outside of pure physicality, you're talking about hip hop is a culture. Musically, we have been seen as alpha. Most white people will tell you, don't even try to match up to a Black man musically. Black men are music gods. Black men are mental gods. This is the idea of the Black man. The problem is when the Black man is dealing with the Black woman, he gets the deuce down to a son husband, to a alpha male provider. We look at Shakur Stevenson last night. He took his greatest night and used it to do what? Propose to Lyric. This was one of his biggest nights. Will he have bigger nights? Yes, but there's a such thing as a climax. There's a such thing as a story building up, building up, building up, building up, building up. And you, at this point, he's ascended. So now, today, when we talk about this subject, we dealing with two dynamics that we have to deal with. We dealing with the dynamic of the black man being beholden to the black woman. And we also dealing with the idea that when black men are in a position of great prestige, we keep seeing that they are sidetracked by the same women and the same people that claim to love them. Before we get into it, though, man, this is just a warm up. I'm gonna hit y'all in the head with some MF Doom, man. I want y'all to just, vibe out for a second to my man. This is off his album Victor Vaughn. And after I run through a couple songs, I'm gonna get on here and we're gonna blast off. This is a build-up. I got you.
Wait, I've come to help. Listen to me. You help me?
Born the traveling vaudeville villain. You don't give a flying fuck who ain't not feeling them. Watch what you're dealing them.
18 Death Card.
Strong arm, the wrong man. Part of the left guard. Get money and earn it. That everything you touch turn shit. Got much to learn, kid.
What you think so far?
Shit. Light it up like the Dutch when the hash melt. Only time they see him when they meet him with the cash belt. I caramba. Now that's my number. One dry summer, as far as I remember, burnt out. We're getting every edgy penny.
I muted the
Then
mic.
he hit him
I'm
straight
gonna
to the
make
head
a
like
million
Reggie
off
Denny.
this talking
Call him
shit.
back when you need some
I'm
more
gonna
yak,
talk
horse
that
yak.
shit.
Doing 80 down the bad wick on horseback. Your
I'm
man's sick when he ran
firm
tracks.
in
Go
my speaking.
get back to bro, exactamundo.
I think I want to deal with those dudes because
the way a lot of dudes rhyme, their name should be Knob Shiner.
I need some power behind my voice.
To Vic, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I need some guns behind my
I wonder
voice.
how well will they hold up in the holding cell? It sort of had the strange makings of a tale told in hell.
When you start
Like,
talking very erect,
riches if the feds is
people
really
don't
after them.
like
They
it.
just told all the
When you the
snitches.
messenger,
Borrowed
all
time rhymes,
messengers, they
gas
try
by
to
the silver
flirt.
screen, they act like they monkey
And I
ass,
got
they
a
hit back
message
like
that's so
Wolverine.
powerful.
Mellow out with y'all bellow
I got
out,
a
y'all yellow
powerful
out. What happened to
message.
the type of spit that
You know what I'm saying?
Out?
We got
No
a powerful
doubt,
message. Look at what they do to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. These people we know. We talking about Kwame Brown. And the way messengers really become powerful, I already know. And I have to do it. I have to do it. But the way that they become powerful is by talking to their people. And then people be like, wow.
It's how some became a big man from a black boy to name names. A really big fan of Dan
Then they send an
Aykroyd.
insurgent.
You feel they need to give him his own dance. This is only chance
Somebody
to
to come
like
listen
own
to him
glance.
speak.
Or like a beef scene that leaves
You
the movie
see?
smoking. Or between Hoto sinking and
Not
not
so
so
sweet
sweet
choking.
choking.
So I'm like, yeah. As I watched the first game with the Warriors versus the Grizzlies, you know what I'm looking for? If they can't stop us from scoring, they're going to lose this series. I don't care if they try to score with us. Because when heads get tight, the basket gets small. So if they think they're going to outscore us, like all these good looks that we getting, if they don't get better on defense, we're going to blow them out. I'm telling you. We're going to sweep them.
confirmation of your worst fears. Ever since his first years, had thirst for beers. Back from the future, it'll make you more sober. And brought back a long list of fakers who crossed over. I'm like fucking bubble baller, catch him up at Bob's show, stall him with a trouble caller. Bastard, who can make G's faster than a newly remastered while being truly plastic? There's four sides to every story. If these walls could talk, they probably still ignore me. Contemplate war over a cup of warm coffee. It's really getting gory. Tell your problem to Maury. Don't bore me with the glory, hallelujah. Cruise me like Fooey. Sold a bunch of hooey. I knew he had no G. Who he? Victor Vaughn.
We let him get a rebound.
I think he call it liquor pawn. But he study rhymes and patterns. Climb so steep, sometimes the beat don't be mattering. Sounding like a half-dead from Scurvy Band Rock. A program computer by grafted Herbie Hancock. Maybe next life we'll try harder. Died a martyr at the hands of the fire starter. All scripts ripped.
I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
To the lab via charter. On the microphone, he came the days of the major. With a guy practice banging flies with razors. And watch out for the robot, he got eyes with lasers. Tell him when they come with more topics besides blazers. Enough with the guns already, they all toys and lames. The joys in the aim. He asked him, how's your poison game? Do you rush your
crossbow? Also,
accurate body blows to torso, thought so.
These guns you won't find it no how to.
If the blacksmith doubt you,
he smacked the shit out you.
Make nothing go and let nothing twitch. Just don't be near the mic when the on button switch. V bring the beef like a trucker to Fuddrucker. Delivery to all y'all motherfuckers and bloodsucker. Copy more please than when a rap nigga pick on. And that's my word is born. I think he call it liquor porn. He wrote this one with a fever, sick in bed, with his dick head inside a chicken head. No, a dead chicken's head. He said it helped his nausea. If he lost you, wait till he tell you about the flying saucer. Dag, the kick back and leave your wig rag for a big bag of good grizzle and some zigzag. Survival, keep a rival in denial, and bust what he get just for coming out his pie hole. Die calmer than a suicide bomber. V just the type to do a who ride with mama. Said to James Bond, my name is Victor. Victor Vaughn told the chick the quickest way to get on, liquor pawn.
If you shop on Amazon, you should use this tool. It's a browser.
That's foul. All right, so let's get into it. That was foul. I hate when they do that. They just interrupt it and throw a song in there. All right, so here's the thing, gentlemen. In terms of being men, you know we cannot just give you a problem. We have to give you a solution, because just giving you a problem is feminine. We have to give you a solution on how you need to deal with things. And let's just say this first and foremost. As a man, you need to understand that when you make decisions and choices in life, you have to stand on your choices. And people that say they have a problem with you, they will come back around. But you have to be firm in your decision making, because if you are not firm in your decision making, people will despise you even more. Okay? So I'm not telling you to be prideful. I'm not telling you to be egotistical. What I'm telling you is that your logic should prevail, because if you are going in and out of making choices, that means that you are relying too much on your emotions and not enough on your actual logic, like you actually thought through the process, okay? So there are going to be a lot of conversations, right? There are going to be a lot of conversations, and people are going to be saying different things, right? But I want to make it very clear that when I assess a situation, I like to look at it with my own eyes and come up with my own thoughts. And if I'm wrong, I can live with being wrong, okay? But I heard somebody review this thing that happened with Shakur Stevenson. I heard somebody review it. And it sounded like they was almost trying to put the blame on Shakur, on the bodyguards or the other people. Okay. Listen, gentlemen, can we help the family that we come from? No. So when I say we want to deal with feminine women, obviously I'm talking about women that you have the ability to deal with. Like, you can choose to deal with them or not deal with them. Obviously, when we talk about your mother, your sister, and things of that nature, that's something different. But still, if you allow your mother and your sister to be a certain type of way, it's going to impact you. When I say allow, what I mean is that you have to check certain behavior from the women in your family, because they're gonna need you. If you healthy and you strong, they're gonna need you. So that means you need to check them, because you don't want to end up in the same situation as a lot of these men that I'm gonna talk about today. And let me do this too. I'm so excited, but let me slow down. Okay? Let's start this thing off right, because I want to back Kevin Samuels up on this point about black men being programmed. Black men being programmed by the black women. It's not a bad thing. That's why you have an initiation. That's why you had a time in life where you left the women, where you left the home, and you learned to become a man. That way you would not get caught up in a situation where you were stuck with that programming. All programming has an expiration date. All programming. You know, I sit there and I look at my father. I see how soft he got, you know, and then I look at other men who got older and I see how soft they got. And I said, oh, maybe that's just a part of a man maturing, right? You get softer, right? Back when I was growing up, I specifically remember a time where my father said, hey, I need you to go do something. He said, I need you to do something with the trash. I came back, I told my father, I said, I didn't see it. He said, if I go around there and find it, I'm going to slap you upside the head. Now, I ain't do nothing wrong. I wasn't being a bad kid. I was going to get slapped upside my head because I couldn't find something he asked me to look for. Back then, my pops was 28, 29. He was young, dumb, and full of cum, you know? Now he's getting close to 60. And some of the stuff that he let happen, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I was traveling on the road. Another story. I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I meet an older man who used to be a police officer. And he was telling me how soft he got. And at that point, I realized that maybe my father is not, maybe it's an age thing. I say that to say that listen, we talking, but I never noticed the smallest things I say can have the biggest impact on you. All programming has an expiration date. All programming, you know, it's useful in certain situations, it's not useful in other situations. So when black men get stuck with this programming from their mother, it creates an issue. This is why a lot of black women are saying he's a mama's boy. He haven't flown the coop yet, you know, because he won't stand up to his mother. If you want to piss off a grown woman, let her see you fucking treating your mom like the Lord and Savior. That will piss her off, okay? Because she needs you to be a man for her. So, but you may say, Q, you tripping. We have not been programmed. We have not been programmed. You making up this shit, man. So I'm going to give you evidence because I hate to talk and not sprinkle in a little bit of evidence because I don't want you to tell me I'm making shit up. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to share a personal story. I was probably like 11, 12 years old, and I was out with my mom and some other family members. And my mom was talking about something, and she said she called the people over so she could get a refund. And she was like, Quentin, tell them, whoop-de whoop-de woo. And I was like, Mom, I don't know what's going on. I felt bad because I was like, damn, is she trying to get me to lie? I had froze up. Man, I got a new nickname after that. I got a new nickname after that incident. They called me Brother Rat. They called me a rat because I would not tell her, because I got stuck when they asked me to lie. Because they really asked me to lie on some impromptu. But I mean, my mom was furious. My mom was like, this mother I'm about to show y'all on this clip. But my mom was furious. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm sitting there, if I have to say, I was looking like a real fucking punk. You know what I'm saying? And my mom is looking at me like, I told you. They still call me Brother Rat to this day. But you want to understand that this is the programming. This is you being programmed by your mother not to think for yourself and to go along with what she's talking about. Black men have been programmed to be subservient to their mothers. Black men have been programmed to be subservient to the black woman. But here's the catch-22. Black women hate black men for being subservient to them. I just did a video talking about how women are ruthless. And it's the miseducation. And this, what we getting ready to talk about, is the miseducation. But without further ado, let me play the clip.
He vote independent. Why would you do that? You know what I said do when you go in there. You go.
That's what I did.
No, you didn't. You go independent, honey. I told you. I said go Democrat Biden. Now there's a fucking vote that we done lost that can fucking go to Trump.
How many brothers?
What?
How many brothers?
I told you to do.
How many brothers have been through that? How many brothers have been through that? See, this is what we don't think about. This is the programming right here. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams, because Coach Greg Adams is the one who always play this video clip. So shout out to Coach Greg Adams, right? But I want y'all to listen. I stopped and I spoke in between so you can hear. This is the grooming. This is the programming. Listen.
Biden. Now we done lost a damn vote. We done lost a vote. That's gonna go to Trump. God damn.
His mom is in the car spazzing on him right now because he didn't vote for Biden. Now look up. It's May 1st, 2022. Not only was his mom wrong, but she also, let's watch the video.
I'm worshiping these people like they're fucking God.
Now he's saying something right. He says, stop worshiping these people like they're fucking gods. This is the man in him now speaking. As a man, he's saying, You make it seem like it's a big deal. You really got that much faith in another man? You really got that much faith in the voting process? That's not how men work or think. So now this, as a son, a young warrior looking to train himself, he says something very astute, but is overshadowed by the buffoonery of his sister laughing and the buffoonery of his mother. But he is the one that should be leading the family. Based off what he is saying, they should be listening to him. And that's what I said in the beginning of the show about black men being beholden to black women. In a patriarchal society, there's never a time where there's not a man that ascends to leadership in the family to guide the family in the right direction. He said, you really treating these people like they gods. And now listen to his mom.
Nobody worshiping them. But God damn it, Chris, we need somebody in there with motherfucking sense.
You, his mom, you acting like you don't have no sense. She's saying ain't nobody worshiping them. He's saying, Mom, you saying you're not worshiping them, but you are definitely worshiping them.
He vote independent. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know what I said, do when you go in there. You go.
That's what I did.
No, you did. You voted independent, honey. I told you. I said go Democrat Biden. Now there's a fucking vote that we done lost that can fucking go to Trump.
This is why I don't do politics. I will never do this again.
He said he ain't gonna vote again.
See, now what just happened between that? What just happened between that mother and that son that she didn't even pay attention to? Her son just said he will never do this again. He will never vote again. That's from an experience that he had with his mother. That's from a bad taste that his mother put in his mouth about his own choice. He has a choice. Now, where's the irony in this? Where's the irony? The irony is this. Back in like 1919, women were fighting for the right to vote. And one of the reasons why the men that were in charge, said that women don't need to be able to vote is because it would basically be cheating, because you would have two votes going one way. They automatically assume that the woman would take on the vote of her husband, right? Fast forward 102 years, 101 years, because my grandmother was born in 1919. And when we say that women are ruthless, when men gave women the right to vote, they introduced this type of bullshit where you have female-led homes. This was the induction of female-led homes where women were basically practicing tyranny. They were tyrants. This woman is a tyrant. Nobody, you going to vote with your mother, you don't want this experience. But it's ironic how women of the past fought for the right to vote. And if you ask most women about their right to vote today, they would look at you and call you a misogynist if you said that they don't have the right to vote. Well, what do you call a mother who will not support her son's right to choose whoever he wants? If I'm a misogynist for saying that women should not be able to vote, what does it make this mother, a woman who is basically has now discouraged her son from even wanting to vote? He don't even want to vote no more because of how vile she is. But this is all a part of the programming. When you get the chance to vote, young black man, you don't have your choice. You got to go with what the women say. When did we see that? We saw that all election. Now, the women should have been following the men, but the men was following the women. Dr. Boyce Watkins got on. He said, I'm so proud of y'all black men for standing up for something, because a lot of black men was pro-Trump. You had a lot of black men that was saying, go with Trump, go with Trump, go with Trump. So at the end of the day, we using our common sense, pardon me. We using our common sense, and we saying, there's no way I can vote for Biden. Come on, give me a break, right? But here we got our mothers screaming at us, right? This is a part of the programming. The young man did the right thing. He voted for who he wanted to vote for. But what's so powerful is this. This is what we never think about. This is what we never think about. We never think about the seed planted in the mind. We never think about the seed planted in the mind. The seed that's planted in the mind is that he's not strong enough to make up his own mind and make his own decisions, and he should defer to the women in the family, if for no other reason than not having to deal with her wrath. I think it's crazy how I said wrath. That was over. I overdid it. I usually say wrath and keep the T off. The point is this. This message is for all black men in particular. That's who this message is for. But this is a young man. We talking about programming here. We talking about the young man that's being programmed. That's what we're talking about. And then they go into adulthood acting like Will Smith. They go into adulthood acting like a lot of black men do. And here's the problem. Here's the crux of the situation. The crux of the situation is that these are alpha males. These are men at the highest point. These are not some poo putts that don't know how to deal with no, that don't know how to deal with failure, that don't know how to deal with rejection, that are lazy and don't get off their ass. This is not your stereotypical step and fetch it. These are real black men, but when it comes to the black woman, they freeze up. Let's finish looking at this clip.
I told you to do Biden.
Oh, it's over. This is what we dealing with. And it just, for better or for worse, it just keeps going and going. Look at this programming right here. Because y'all going to say, Q, you just be making up stuff. You just talking. Look at this programming. This man, College Day, his mom might have motivated him, but she ain't never go lift no weights. She wasn't at the practices. This young man got to make the best decision for his life. I'll never forget. I was about 19 years old. I had a song on the radio. And I was, throughout my life, I've been an alpha. If you when you talk about what an alpha is, a man amongst men, I've been that throughout my life. But I was blue pill. Meaning that based on my programming, I was taught to defer to women. And there were critical junctures in my life. I think the only time I didn't defer to a woman is when I felt like I fell in love with another woman. And I said, I got to hold my nuts right now. But outside of that, when it comes to career, when it comes to a lot of different things, I deferred to women. Because I was taught, which got me in a lot of trouble, gentlemen. Deferring to women got me into a lot of trouble. Because you have to listen to God first and foremost. But secondly, it got me into a lot of trouble because I put women on a pedestal. It was in my program, and I already told you how my mother did me. So now I'm in college. I got a song on the radio, called Audio Kite. Everybody listening to my song. I call home. I tell my mom my song made the radio. I call home. I tell my mom, I said, hey, Ma, I'm thinking about leaving school because I want to do music. My mom told me music ain't going nowhere. I deferred to a woman. My mom said, stay in college. Music ain't going nowhere. And because I put my mom on a pedestal, like most black men do, I heeded her advice to my own detriment, because now all I got is debt and I still want to rap. And I was bubbling. And one of the things about, building up momentum and bubbling is like trying to please a female. Once you hit the spot, it's like riding a wave. Once you hit the spot, you have to continue to apply pressure until you bust, till you climax in this world. They call it momentum, the snowball effect. By listening to my mother, I cut off my momentum. I cut off my snowball effect. People, they was playing my song 3 times a day. It made the national radio, the syndicated radio station. I was running back and forth in the parking lot of Walmart selling CDs for $1. People was playing the CD as they leave out, rocking with my shit. For everybody that was rocking with me, I appreciate that. But the point is, I was ascending. Then I listened to my mother. I didn't think to call my father and say, hey, Pop, what should I do? When I called my father later on in life and start asking him for advice, you know what he told me? He said, Butter, I just want you to give 100% to whatever you do. If you give 100%, you're going to be good. Just give 100%. So I say all that to say that was a major impact on me, deferring to females. In a lot of different ways, I was living in hell because I deferred to females. If this message don't apply to you, let it fly. But if it applied to you, then I'm telling you, you need the counsel of men. You need to be around men when you have these serious life questions, when you have these serious pivots in life, where you're trying to decide whether you're going to go left or right down the middle. Instead of picking up the phone to call a woman, pick up the phone and call a man and have a group of men in your corner that can fuel you and tell you what the real deal is. Now, right here, when you're looking at this picture of Jacob Copeland, he's sitting there with his mother. She confused, but she gonna act like she not. She got on a Tennessee Volunteer hat. Somebody behind them got on Tennessee Volunteers, and they already all got on Alabama. You know what that mean to me? What that means to me is that Jacob Copeland has been talking and no one has been listening. I do not believe this young man showed up to draft day and changed his mind. I believe this young man told him the whole time that he hadn't made his mind up yet. And people kept trying to tell him what to do, and he went into a deep, quiet place to deliberate over his decision making. And when he showed up to draft day, he did what I want all of y'all men to do. I want you to have a backbone. Because guess what? Mama is going to come back. Especially if you become $1 billion nigga.
Like now that I'm taking my time so for the next 3-4 years.
I told y'all a long time ago, what is female superpower? Withdrawal. Female superpower is leaving a situation because they're ruled by yin. Females are cold. So when you do something a woman don't like, 9 times out of 10, her primary way to punish you is by doing what? Leaving. It's by being cold. This is his mother. Somebody that he thought he knew. Somebody that he thought he loved. I mean, somebody that he thought loved him. And when he made a choice, okay. Testosterone makes you individualistic. Estrogen and women having their cycles deals with the group dynamic. So even though women's superpower is withdrawal, it doesn't mean that much to a masculine man because men were taught that they were on their own from the beginning anyways. The only time men feel the security in this world is when they have the camaraderie of other men, masculine men, men that have been taught properly. Why am I saying this? Because she's trying a trick on him that's not going to work because he's already made his mind up. But I want you guys to understand that this is a female's number one weapon. This is why men are son husbands. This is why, you know, a lot of y'all men are pussy whipped. You're not pussy whipped because she got good pussy. You are pussy whipped because you have abandonment issues. She knows you have abandonment issues. And women are very judicious in the way that they do things. So she got cold on her son. It's draft day. This is a part of the programming. This is his highest moment. This is his highest moment.
So, Jacob, you're going to Florida. Who just got up and left there? And to your right, who got up and left?
Who comes sit in her place? A man. Got you, buddy. A man comes sit in her place. But now, instead of this being his biggest day and him just talking about himself and having a clear head, we talking about just the value of a black man having a clear head. Instead of it being that, this is the first question that he has to answer.
That was my mom.
That was my mom.
And why did she walk out and leave?
I don't know. I don't know exactly why she
They
walked out,
asked him, why did she walk out and leave? Your mom done stole the show now. This is your highest moment. What I'm telling y'all, black brothers, is that this is not an isolated incident. This happened with Will Smith. His first Oscar became about alopecia and Jada Smith. Shakur Stevenson, his highest moment became about Lyric and his mom acting a motherfucking ass. I got more examples, but we gonna walk these dogs slow. We ain't gonna rush because I need y'all to understand. I need you to get this. I need you to understand that God is your God. The black woman comes from your rib, gentlemen. And I know you want to be everything your father was not. And I know that you want to provide. And even if you had a father, you want to provide and take your family to the next level and be the best man that you can be. Like I said, the CDC already said that black men are the best fathers, not taking nothing away from people of other races. But for black men, you know, this is something that a lot of black men really care a lot about. This is him at his highest moment, and he got to talk about why his mom left.
I don't know. I don't know exactly why she walked out, but yeah, I don't know.
Jacob, we saw her wearing the Alabama sweater there.
This is the beauty of young men getting into athletics. The beauty of young men getting into athletics is that you constantly around male mentorship. You constantly around disapproval. You constantly around people pushing you to be better. So when his mom decided to get up and walk out because of the choice that he made, he was okay with it because he has male mentorship.
Great. So, Jacob, you're going to Florida. Who just got up and left there? And to your right, who got up and left?
That was my mom.
And why did she walk out and leave?
I don't know. I don't know exactly why she walked out, but yeah, I don't know.
Jacob, we saw her wearing the Alabama sweater there. What were those conversations like with her about where you were going to school?
We had a lot of conversations back and forth about where I should go to school at, but it was like God led me.
He said we had a lot of conversations back and forth about where I should go to school, meaning he didn't make up his mind. Then he said, but God led me. I want you to notice something about these two black men that I just showed you. The Biden situation and in this situation, these black men talking about God. They said they ain't your saviors. So that means he really got a certain conviction about himself. He really do believe in a higher power. This man said, I talked to God. I spoke to God. Come on, man. How powerful is that statement? He spoke to God, and God led him here to making this choice, which goes back to what I said. He never made a choice. And y'all show up with this shit on. Y'all should have showed up looking pretty in a skirt with nothing on, showing no level of where I'm committing to. Like when LeBron decided to go to the Miami Heat. LeBron sat back. LeBron sat back. LeBron sat back. had everybody wondering. Then he pulled the classic at the Boys and Girls Club. He said, I'm taking my talents to the Miami Heat. But if his mother would have been around here with Miami Heat shirts on and everything like that, everybody would have known where he committed to before he committed to it. This is what we're talking about. His mom showing up and his family showing up, all of that shit, and then they automatically put pressure on the situation. He spoke to God. He going to the Florida Gators.
And my gut and God led me in the direction that my heart desired. So I followed along with it. I couldn't go with my mind. I want to go with my heart. So from there on out, God led me on. He told me to pick my decision that I wanted, and that's what I choose.
Jacob, you referenced on Twitter yesterday, I saw the post about how it would have been very emotional. You talked about how you had been crying the night before, agonizing about this decision. Can you just walk us through how you eventually got to this decision?
They don't want to talk. One of the ways that I'm glad we're doing this today. One of the ways that they try to dehumanize black men is to make it seem as if we don't have emotions. Black men and all men have a deep reservoir of emotions. And part of the reason why women are ruthless is because they want to see if they can break you down. And they also want to see if you can hold them accountable. But this man said he was crying. He spent time crying, deliberating over this decision, which means that there was a lot of emotions involved in him deciding what school he wanted to go to. He wasn't just crying for himself. You know why he was crying? Because he had to think about the people that he would let down.
What this process has been like for you?
This process, it been great coming along. We've been recruited for a long time, being a top recruit, top priority for a lot of schools. But knowing that I felt out of all schools, I felt more welcome at home and felt like I could make an impact at the University of Florida. So that's why I felt like that I fit in at and feel like welcome home and being a family. So that's what I like to take my time to.
People with plaques.
So you hear him, and his mom just walked off, and he had to speak for that, right? Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that women should be perfect. I told you that in the very beginning. I'm not saying women have to be perfect. What am I saying? I'm saying this is a part of the programming that you have to overcome. Let's look at some more programming. Let's look at some more programming. Y'all know this guy. This is Kevin Durant at his highest moment. I'm not even going to interrupt this clip. I'm going to play it, and we're going to listen to Kevin Durant's programming.
In the living room, we just hugged each other because that's what we thought we made it. And when something good happens to I don't know about you guys, but I tend to look back to what brought me here. And you wake me up in the middle of the night in the summer times, making me run up a hill, making me do push-ups, screaming at me from the sideline of my games at 8 or 9 years old. We wasn't supposed to be here. You made us believe. You kept us off the street, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
Once again, we see a black man at his highest moment putting his woman on a pedestal. This is why when I hear about black women talking about they don't want to be with black men, I'm like, good. You don't even know, once again, with the feminist rhetoric, you don't even understand how you shooting your own self in the foot by not wanting to be with black men. Black men continuously put black women on a pedestal. You saying you don't want to be with black men? Here go my last example of the programming. This is how deep the programming get. The programming gets so deep that sometimes men don't even tell you. They just operate quietly. Listen to this. This is Marlon Wayne.
Recently, my mom passed. And on her deathbed, I said, can I tell you something, woman? She was in a lot of pain. And she was fighting to stay alive or fighting to go. And I said, you know, I'm 47 years old and I've never been married. Yeah. Because I always wanted you to be my number one girl. And my mother turned over. She looked at me. She grabbed my hand. She pulled me close to her. That's what I know. I love you too. And I gave her a kiss. And I said, I'll see you soon. Not that soon, because I got a life to live. And she laughed in pain. I gave her a kiss. And those were my last words to my mom. And that's the truth. I never got married because I knew my mom needed me. I always want to be women sometimes want to battle for your attention. They want to battle for your love. They want to be the one. My mama here, she the one.
See, you got to hear that clip. That clip was insane. That was an insane clip. You have to hear it. You have to hear the programming in this. This is crazy. In the Bible, it says, leave and cleave. Listen to this fool.
Recently, my mom passed. And on her deathbed, I said, can I tell you something, woman? She was in a lot of pain. And she was, fighting to stay alive or fighting to go. And I said, you know, I'm 47 years old. And I've never been married. Yeah. Because I always wanted you to be my number one girl. And my mother turned over. She looked at me. She grabbed my hand. She pulled me close to her. That's what I know. I love you too. And I gave her a kiss. And I said, I'll see you soon. Not that soon, because I got a life. She laughed in pain. And she laughed in pain. Those were my last words to my mom. That's the truth. I never got married because I knew my mom needed me. I always want to be a women sometimes want to battle for your attention. Battle for you.
He done doubled down. And he knows the essence. He done doubled down. And he thought the correct way to go. I'm telling you, I'm driving it home right now. I don't really know if you understand what I'm saying. The way it's being set up is perfect. Because what happened to Shakur Stevenson? He proposed to his girl. And now his mom is fighting after the fight. Yeah, that's what happened to Shakur Stevenson. His mom got into a scuffle last night. Yeah, she got into a scuffle. Now, Marlon Wayans just told you that he understands that women vie for attention. So what he basically said is he chose his mother's attention over all other women. But he just talked about the programming. He just revealed that he was programmed. The Oedipus complex. He just revealed the programming that I've been talking to y'all about. I told you I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to walk these dogs. We're going to do it slow, but we're going to do it right. He's admitting to his programming. Black men, when you get a woman you love, when you get a woman you like, because see, he thinking about the woman that he introduced his mom to and that woman fighting his mother. He ain't thinking about his mother fighting that woman and that woman know that his mom is being evil, and that's part of the problem. He only thinking about it one way, which is that his mom is perfect and these other women trying to sabotage the relationship. But if he was right-minded, he would realize that his mom was the one. And the woman could sense it. And now both of them fighting. These type of things are the things that happen when you go through an initiation with other men. You start to understand female nature because it's important. If you have not learned how to deal with your mother, you will not know how to deal with other women. Because those psychological tricks, that psychological warfare will still be there. Whoever's in with me on the live stream, you need to play this shit back. This is an epic live stream. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking this shit down. I'm talking to y'all about how black men have been programmed, and I walked it down for you so you can understand. We going to our climax right now. So if you in here and you haven't caught it, you need to stay in here and catch this. Marlon Wayans said that he never got married because women love attention, and he didn't want other women fighting his mother for attention. So like I told y'all, man, when I'm doing this type of thing, I'm just walking with you, bro. People gonna have different opinions about the Shakur Stevens situation. Here's the climax. Last night, Shakur Stevenson was at his highest level. We seen Will Smith slap somebody at his first Oscar that he ever won. Last night, Shakur Stevenson did two things. Two things happened. He proposed and his mother got in some controversy. I turned off the audio on this clip because I want you to look at the clip now and think for yourself. And I put it on slow motion. So it's chaos going on, right? Gentlemen, when you get a chance to pick the women that you want to deal with in life, I'm going to tell you right now, the type of women that you don't want to deal with are the women that's running toward the war and not a way to safety. Because you can't protect people that's running toward a war. Look at this. Look at this. They trying to close the door. And these women that's with him, look at him. He's right here. He holding somebody back. This is the highest moment in his life. Is this Mo in the building with me? Who's here with me right now? I dropped the link down, brother, if that's you. This is the highest moment of this man's life thus far, and he holding back his mom. Now, what did he just do? He just did what Marlon Wayans talked about. He just decided to marry a woman. He got down on one knee. His mom is nutting up about that. I told you I'm going to drive it home. The same thing, most black men, one of the biggest issues that they have with their marriages is their mother being jealous that he is giving all that time, energy, and attention to another woman. The night that this man proposed, his mom decided to act a natural ass because she need to see how much does he love me. He holding her back. Watch this. I don't look. Does she look like she trying to get away from problems? He holding her back. She's the problem. She started the problem. So I don't care what reports come out, because I can look at it and see if somebody was being bullied or trying to avoid a conflict, moving away from it. But I'm looking at this. She's the fire starter. Look at her. They trying to close the door. Look at him. This is his biggest night. He already said he don't want to be involved in no controversy. This is his biggest night. And he fighting with the women in his family to keep them off so that he can enjoy himself. Now, somebody mentioned that Shakur Stevenson, after this incident, was smiling. He was happy. That's like the gift and the curse behind the whole thing. One of the reasons why black men love black women so much is because we don't really consider these women to be a threat. We don't really take into account psychological warfare. We're not really understanding the impact that the black woman has on the black man's psyche. After that happened, he didn't correct her. I talked to y'all about generational curses and why those generational curses continue to happen, because we don't correct the women in the family who are wrongheaded. So after this incident, he went out and said, God damn it, I just finished fighting. I'm relaxing and enjoying my success. But this is what he had to deal with. And this is what I'm going to put up on the screen right now, because I want y'all to understand this. Actors, athletes, and rappers are alpha males. But these are some of the biggest blue pill men that we have out here right now. Because after they go out and conquer the world, they don't want to deal with this shit. They want to go out and conquer the world, and then they want to just say everything else should be taken care of. Y'all, what the blue pill alpha fails to realize is that there is no satisfying a woman. You can have 20-inch pipe, you can have $20 million, you can have 2 homes, you can put them on 2 acres, buy them 2 houses, give them 2 dogs, give them 2 orgasms. If you never heard the story, The Husband Store, it's about how insatiable women are. The only way that you're going to be able to satisfy a woman's insatiable nature is by dominating her. Now, if you listen to what I say and then you run back to your girl and you be like, oh, I heard this from Q. Of course, she's going to deny that she want to be dominated. She's going to tell you she want equality. But go back and look at this stream and see where equality has gotten men. When you look at the voting, and then the woman says, I told you to vote for Biden. Go look back at the stream, and you will see that equality does not work. It's all about dominance. It's all about domination, gentlemen. And you have to trust yourself and realize that you are what do they call a benevolent dictator. You have to be a benevolent dictator. But this is Shakur Stevens. He's a athlete. His job is whipping people ass. And look at the women. Do they look like they moving away from the glass? Do they look like they avoiding the fight? No. They embarrassing this man on his biggest night. Just like Will Smith, just like Jada Pinkett did Will Smith, just like Kevin Durant sitting up there saying, "You the real MVP." Brothers, if you don't get your mother's nipple out your goddamn mouth and grow a set of fucking balls, this is why the black community can't be what it's supposed to be, because y'all dudes are too attached to your mother's nipples. They instigated this fight. Look at him. Kid from Newark, New Jersey. Made it to he thinking like this. This is how his mind is working. He thinking to himself, man, I done made it through the struggle, all of this bullshit that's been going on. What Will Smith said, he from West Philadelphia, born and raised. I done made it through all of this bullshit. That's why when I be telling y'all about this shit, man, I don't be telling y'all this because I'm telling y'all that this is higher level shit. One of the things you got to think about, like I said, I don't know if this is Mo on, but one of the things y'all got to think about is Shakur Stevenson is not different, no different than the everyday individual. What happens is women are good at coming up with fucking language. So I'm going to use female language against them right now. They call it microaggressions. A lot of y'all men, a lot of y'all masculine men, you overlook microaggressions because you saying to yourself, I got to get what I got to get to prove my manhood. I ain't worried about that microaggression. I done slapped the snot out motherfuckers. I done boxed niggas till their eyes was bloody. I done hustled, almost got shot. I done been stuck up. I done whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. You got all these horror stories about the streets. Nigga, you don't have an enemy that's more cunning and more slick than a woman. Whole dynasties have been broken down because men's inability to understand who women actually are and put women in their proper place. Because you are reluctant to deal with that, it does not matter how prosperous you become, you will still end up like Shakur Stevenson. See, if that was my mother, I wouldn't have proposed on my greatest night, and you wouldn't be invited to no more motherfucking boxing matches. What happened to LeBron James? Delonte West fucked LeBron James' mom, allegedly. But it shouldn't even be allegedly, because she shouldn't even be in the weeds like that. She should be listening to the games. There should be no smut on her name. So I'm showing you the conditioning, the programming. I'm showing you. That's why you got to go back and look at this stream. I'm showing you how black men acquiesce to black women in a very ill way that's causing a detriment of our community. You got a young man in the car with his mother saying wise things, but his mother believes because his mother and she older, that everything he's saying is invalid when it's actually right-headed. He's thinking the right way. I know you love your mother. I know you love the women in your family, and I know that you know that they need protection. But the number one question you got to start asking yourself is, what have these women done in my family to the point where they don't have no male protection? And why would I involve myself in protecting people that don't want to be underneath my leadership? With that, gentlemen, I'm out. I think I had 2 viewers today, but I think this is one of my best live streams. So y'all need to, like I said, play it back and you know, do your own research for yourself, man. You will see that this is common, bro. This is common. Peace.